Hi everyone, this video is going to show you a brief summary about Porter's 5 Forces framework and an example about how to use it. I'm Gerardo Ramirez, a GADE MBA student, and will be your host today. Let's start. Michael Porter is one of the fathers of the modern business strategy. His 5 Forces framework is about the undeniable forces that play a part in shaping every market and industry. This business analysis model has the main goal of evaluate root causes of profitability in a specific industry. The pros related to this tool are help to shape an industry structure, determine the competitive intensity, identify strategy actions which may affect the force grade according to a specific need, show attractiveness of an industry. On the other hand, the model has some limitations, such as the evaluation requires the use of assumptions, so final output is subject to those assumptions validation. Their findings are more relevant in the short terms, and the forces may change through the time. And depending on the industry, not all the 5 forces has the same impact. Let's go over the 5 forces. First, we have the competitive rivalry, which is about the competitiveness across existing players. The factors which may affect the grade of the force are the exhibit barriers, the industry concentration, industry growth, capacity and overcapacity, switching costs, and product differentiation. Then we have supplier power, which is driven by supplier concentration, meaning how much of the market they own, differentiation on inputs, for instance, raw materials, threat of forward integration, either vertical or horizontal. On the buyer side, we have negotiation leverage, buyer volume, price sensitivity, threat of backward integration, product differentiation, and buyer concentration versus industry. On the top, we have uh, the, the new entry barriers, which is driven by learning curve, access input, government policies, capital requirements, access to distribution. Finally, we have the trade of substitution, which is affected by switching cost, price performance, trade off on substitutes, and buyer inclination to move to substitutes. All the forces are ranked according to the strength, low, mid, or high. Now, once the forces has been evaluated, what is next? Well, the next step will be to determine what are the desired level at each force. This future state is what will drive the strategy to achieve a specific ideal state on the market industry. If a supplier is seeing that the buyer has so much power, they will may decrease it by adding value to their product, more features, some patents, may reduce not only buyer options, also may help to reduce force of substitutes threat. Now think about the buyer perspective. What is the best force mix you may have in your space to have all the power, gaining the profitability that the supplier may lose and share? From a buyer perspective, in the appliance gas bulbs space, the right moves to do are on the competitive rivalry, the best to do is being out of single sources. If you are buying items from just one approved supplier, you are subject to price increases, to product allocation, and so on. So here the fish is to move to at least a dual source and eventually to a multi-source scenarios for all your items. On threat for substitution, the buyer may want to be able to move to a different product. This will give you flexibility to switch from raw materials commodities, for instance, passing from aluminum to brass or vice versa, depending on the global cost of the metals in the market. Here is the best is to get support from engineering and pass from supplier customized solutions to a standard components, kind of commodities, which will mean that you are reducing product differentiation. On supplier side, if the forces are getting strong, supplier may start a price war. If that is the case, a contract will protect you against price increases, and a competitive clause will give you the right to challenge prices if you find a better alternative. Finally, on buyer side, as part of getting options, you may improve other areas besides of cost, such quality terms, logistics, and that is why a global RFX may take a place. Once you have all the pieces together, it's time to complete the strategy. For a buyer, this may end with a supplier roadmap for the next year. Actions or tactics can be linked to the time and to a KPI target. In this case, it will be the spend, meaning the total purchase amount expected by supplier across the time. Well, hope this video will help you to have a better idea about Porter's 5 forces and the use of the